Today is 1063rd day and I'm sharing lessons I learned. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today, speak about don't judge a book based on its cover. Don't judge a book based on its cover. I think that this is a very, very popular saying. And I think a lot of times people have heard it maybe 1,000 times. But I think that sometimes because we heard that 1,000 times, we really forget the value. We understand that we do not understand the base of it. Because what it does, I think it is important to have that judgment sometimes, but that's supposed to be used only like rarely moments. Because of course, if you first impression is that someone is dangerous, we want to walk away and have that very fast judgment that I'm not safe and I'm moving out. But I think that protection tool, that first impression tool, that judgment tool that is supposed to be used 1% of the time is used 100% of the time. And we sometimes judge people based on how they look, based on how they sound, based on how they did something. Because I think we need to understand that people make mistakes. You make mistakes. I made mistakes. Every single person make mistakes. And the person is making mistake when the person made mistake. And of course, we potentially could build that first impression. Oh, this person always do this. But we need to understand that when we're able to look into that they made a mistake, but this is what they did, not who they are. It's much easier to really not have that first impression that is terrible regarding another person, because sometimes we're losing people who could potentially be amazing people if we just give them a chance. So today we'll share like 10 things that what we need to know about and what we develop when we actually able to challenge our first impressions. Number one is empathy and open-mindedness. And this is very interesting because we need to look into what is internally in them. Because sometimes it's easy to judge. It's easy to judge. As I said, it's sometimes when you're very tired, you want to just judge and understand, okay, first impression, that's it. This is who they are. It's very simple. But when you're actually able to question your first impression, and you start to understand, okay, so why they did that? What kind of thought process do they have to really make this decision to look like this or whatever it is? So that means we questioning our first impression. We judge our judgment. At the same time, we're able to understand and be open-minded to understand that maybe we are not too good in understanding. And we need to really be able to really ask the right questions. Because when you're able to ask the right questions, when you're able to open mind, we're able to really develop meaningful relationships. And new relationships are potentially, because you're more compassionate, able to build more relationships. Number two is the patience, the value of patience. And it's very important because a lot of times the first impression leads to one thing that, oh, this person never could do anything. But when you're patient with people and really able to ask and give them a chance and give people a chance and be patient with people, I think that a lot of times people who've been struggling for a long, long time, they're not able to perform. But when they finally find a person who are the patient people, who are able to wait, who are able to understand, who are able to say that, yeah, I will be here, just take your time. A person who feels supported and not pushed into something, it might be that they will change completely because they finally find that they have support that they need. And patience is good because you're able to really have patience to really go through enough experience with the person to understand where they come from. But don't judge a book based on its cover. So a lot of times when we have just covers, we start reading first chapter, we still potentially we don't like it, but when you can get in the second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, you start loving the book, loving the person, because now you understand where they're coming from much, much better. And they open up. Number three is appreciating the inner qualities. That means that, of course, this is again, a lot of times we have first impression based on outer impression, outer qualities. But when we really want to have deep, meaningful relationships, we need to really start appreciating inner qualities. And I loved yesterday. I heard one saying that, and I forgot who said it. Said that ugly people are blessed people. Because when someone loves them, they know that they love because of who they are. Beautiful people sometimes could not have that blessing because sometimes people could love their outer world instead of inner world. And so that means we need to learn how to really appreciate inner qualities rather than outer qualities. Now, I know that it's impossible. Everyone will have a little bit of judgment based on the way how they look and how they present themselves and be able to position ourselves better. But at the same time, we're able to really work towards appreciating more and more those inner qualities. Number 4 is humility and perception. Humility and perception. So what it means that it might be that you have a perception of a person and you feel that your judgment, your perception of that person is exactly right. But it's like when you look at the person, a lot of times we do not see who they are. We see who we think they are. And this is a massive difference. So being able to be humble, say like, I might be wrong in my perception. I might be wrong. I think that might be a majority time are wrong because we judge a person. We put a label on a person based on his 1%. So we know 1%, we put 100% label on that person. And that is not right. That means we need to have humility in our perception. Number 5 is recognizing hidden potential. I think that that is a leader's job. People who really want to have leadership roles in their life, they even need to work even harder for that because we need to recognize potential of people. As leaders, we need to really learn how to understand, okay, where you are, what you showing up, what do you show right now? Because a lot of times people just not able to show themselves properly. Some people, like I always said it, like I have seen so many times where people are very, very smart, very, very smart. But I saw people who are not that smart, but they amazing at communication and presentation. And a lot of times those people who are amazing in self-presentation, they always win. They always win. Because they focus how to present themselves. While people who are amazing and are very, very smart, very intelligent, has everything we need, their communication, everything, but just not able to present themselves well, and they always, not always, but a lot of times they lose. And that means that being able to recognize hidden potential in those people who are not able to present themselves is the key to success. And be able to be a kingmaker. Number 6 is reducing stereotypes. Now, I have stereotypes as well, and I think that I need to work on it. I know that something that I have one thing that I know that what I do not like. But I always say that it doesn't matter what I don't like, I always allow you to do what you like. For example, one thing, simple thing that I hate when people have like rings or some kind of nose rings, like or like a lot of different rings. Like it looks disgusting for me. Like for me, it looks like a bull putting humans that putting bull rings around their nose. That's for me, it's disgusting. But I will never say that this is disgusting because if a person finds it beautiful. And of course, that's I stereotyping people like, oh, this person is wearing a bull ring, and then also so maybe they just have a different kind of values in me. But also, it's not based on values, just the way how they look. And I think that I need to really work very hard to understand that sometimes the way how they look that doesn't represent the values that they have. And of course, that every single person needs to work and ask, what kind of stereotypes do I have? How do I judge people based on what? And be able to remove those are much, much better because every single person has uniqueness that we're able to learn. Number 7 is avoid regrets. That's a beautiful thing. I think that we sometimes could have regret not having communication with someone because we prejudge, and now we see that that person was much, much, much better than we thought, and we potentially missed a chance to having an amazing relationship with that person. I think that is very, very important because regret is a thing that could lead when we really do not have a patience to understand the person. Only when you're able to say, I really understand this person, at that moment you can choose. Okay, I will spend less time, I will spend more time with them. Because at the end of the day, we need to understand if okay, this person has very, very similar values and is going the same direction, so I have to spend more time. If the person no, of course we spend less. Number 8 is flexibility in thinking. This is powerful flexibility in thinking. So it means that when people are thinking one way, we're able to see, I'm able to think flexibly. I'm able to adapt. I'm able to adjust. So if a person is thinking totally different way than I think, it's totally fine. I said that we need to look into what are the values and where they're going, the vision. And if those things are in line, it doesn't matter what other things are going, because it might be that the things that the way how they think, the way how they do things are totally different than how you do it. But that's totally fine because we still have the same values and we're going the same direction and we're able to be very flexible in the way how we think it. And that's of course improves our problem solving skills, decision making skills, being able to understand people at the highest level. Number 9 is self-reflection and growth. When we stop judging others, we stop judging ourselves as well. And most of the time it's not that way. It's like when we start judging ourselves, we stop judging others. I think a lot of times we have a lot of bad first impressions because we do not like ourselves. I could tell you that when I was younger, when I was 25, when I really did not like as much myself, I used to don't like anyone as well. I used to see the person like, no, like I think that they are fake. I think that they're not as good. But when I started loving myself, when I start to understand myself, when I stop judging myself, I start seeing people so much more beautiful. Like every single person become, oh, such a beautiful person. I would love to learn more about them. But I think that's the key to really judgment. A lot of times don't judge book based on its cover. Sometimes that cover, it could be exactly the same, but different people will see that cover exactly different. And that's why when we need to work on ourselves, on self-reflection, on our growth, to be able to really see that cover a little bit differently and not judge. Number 10 and last one is true beauty and worth are often hidden. True beauty and worth are often hidden. So that means being able to really ask questions. I really understand people, because when we understand people, we start to see that maybe people just don't share there, and maybe they share their best parts of them only for the people that they really care about. Because I have the same thinking. Sometimes I want to give my best to the people that I care the most. So that means that I don't give the best to the people who are just strangers. I think that sometimes people put it differently. They give their best to strangers, but they give the least to the people that they love the most. I think that we always need to really say that, do I give my best to the people that I love the most? If not, I'm guilty of that. I know that I used to do. I used to do that. I used to give myself the most to strangers because I wanted to really build my um standard, build my brand, the person who like always happy, always like. But I realized that this is just outer cover. What's really most important is what is inside of me and what my people that I love think of me. And I think that this is a lifetime journey to really become inner focused, inner focus. So I hope you to reflect as well. How often do you judge a person? How often do you judge someone based on its cover, based on his appearance, based on their mistakes? And how often do you challenge your judgments and you're able to really change that judgment and you're finally able to find, okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. And I'm able to really build a new relation. So I hope you just win and see you tomorrow.